Support for The Common comes from the law firm of Davis Malm. Each divorce and family situation is unique. Their lawyers provide empathetic guidance and tenacious advocacy because your family matters to them. Learn more at davismalm.com. Funding for this podcast comes from MathWorks, creators of MATLAB and Simulink software, accelerating the pace of engineering and science. Learn more at mathworks.com.
WBUR Podcasts, Boston.
I'm Candace Springer, in for Daryl C. Murphy, and you're listening to The Common. If you've been listening to The Common at all in its historic run, you know that I'm a big old theater nerd, and I am super psyched to talk to Maurice Emmanuel Parent. He's an actor, an educator, and co-founder and co-producing artistic director of Front Porch Arts Collective. He also recently wrote a post for WBUR's opinion section, Cognoscenti, that's called Blackout Performances Make Boston Theater More Inclusive and Vibrant. Hey, Maurice, welcome to The Common.
Hey, Candace. Thanks for having me.
You wrote this piece for WBUR about blackout nights. Can you tell us what blackout nights are and how it came to be that you started doing these here in Boston?
We started our very first blackout at Speakeasy. I was directing the show Choir Boy. And
loved that show, yes.
It was one of my earliest times directing. Mm-hmm. And we learned of blackout or Black Theater Night on Broadway with the play Slave Play. It happened around 2019. Jeremy L. Harris took a night off sale to the general public and through direct invitation or multiple means filled the entire Broadway house with people who identified as being part of the African diaspora or Black. And the purpose behind it is this sort of magical mirroring that happens when the culture on stage is reflected in the majority of the audience watching that story.
That's a really important point, I think, because in the piece you also mentioned your experience attending shows, right? And that you as a theater artist and a theater goer have seen yourself in a sea of white faces. And I've definitely felt the same. I remember I've been going to theater since I was a little kid, and even my dad and I, we would play this game called Spot the Next Black Person. I don't know.
Oh my God, did we? Are we cousins? Because I think we played the same game growing up too. I think yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was kind of, a ritual for my dad and I, but it was also kind of realizing that we were in this space that didn't really feel historically that it was built for us. And so it felt really important, I think, over the course of my life to really take up space when I was there. But not everybody feels that way. Can you talk more about the history of racial disparity in theater and how that contributes to Black audiences feeling hesitant to attend shows?
Absolutely. There's some data on it. I think even though Boston is over 50% BIPOC identifying, audiences are almost 90% white. So when you look at those numbers, you're wondering what is making the demographic of the audience so different from the demographic of the city that those arts institutions or those theater companies in particular are based in? What are those factors? Maybe they're invisible factors, maybe they're overt factors. Oftentimes, people of color, particularly Black people in theaters that are majority white spaces, when they are majority white spaces, feel policed, they feel othered, they feel, if they laugh a little too loud or too long or, have a reaction that's maybe different from some other theater goers, that they feel a little judged or they feel ostracized.
I want to dig into that a little bit more because it's resonating for me. I'm thinking about when I went to go see A Strange Loop in New York. And I remember at parts of that show, me and my friends who were all people of color were dying. We were cracking up. And the audience, our fellow white counterparts were kind of staring at us won't you be quiet? And, we were sort of, we're fine. We're confident. But I can imagine that can feel a little alienating for someone else who's not sort of used to that experience. And there's a lot of conception with blackout nights, miscommunication. Can you just give us a picture of what a typical night looks like and how many times you're actually doing this through the run of a show?
there are a lot of misconceptions about Blackout, about it being exclusionary, about it, not being open to everybody. And that's actually the opposite. It's similar to a student matinee where we take a show off sale to general public. So it's not a show that would be open for most people to buy tickets to anyway. So we're not taking away seats or nights from anybody. Just
and
like
it's
a student
one
matinee.
show typically during a season.
It's
Is that
one
correct?
show.
Yeah, one show in an
during a-
entire, 4-week run or more, right?
Exactly. So there's multiple opportunities to see the show. And also, if it is a Blackout night and someone who is not Black identified and comes to the box office, doesn't know what the night is, and not kicked out or thrown away, it's explained the experience we're trying to curate this evening. Because again, this is not anti-white. This is not anti-white theater goers. We love white theater goers. We love all theater goers. Please come and see our shows. But can you respect that most times when you see the show, as a white person, you look around, you realize you're the majority of the audience 99% of the time you go. And you know that if change happens, if change is possible, you need to be intentional about that change. So if you want to change the dynamic of making theater audiences more reflective of the demographics of the city you're in, you need some radical outside the box thinking.
Can you share any memorable moments from past Blackout nights or any feedback you've received from the Black community regarding these performances? How do they feel after they experience this?
It's been overwhelming emotionally. It's so beautiful. People who have been coming to theater for years say they finally feel like they've come home. They have never experienced a show like this. They've never felt so comfortable, so free, so connected. It's a lot of people who are part of community groups who will buy blocks of tickets. A lot of student groups will buy blocks of tickets. So you're sharing this experience with friends you already have. You're making new friends. We've also started building out the Blackout. So sometimes there'll be some type of gathering before or after, just like community gathering. So people connect like that. It is like a family reunion. And even though you may not know people, in this space, we all feel like family.
Maurice, what impact do you hope Blackout nights will have on representation in theater? Have you seen examples of this type of programming expanding to other cultures or affinity groups or other populations where they need a theatrical experience or would love a theatrical experience that caters to them?
Absolutely. I have seen it sort of take off in other areas for other communities and cultures. And then I'm also seeing this wonderful trend in sensory-friendly performances where flashing lights and loud noises are muted and flashing lights are taken out. And I think that's yet another beautiful example of making the theatrical experience accessible and trying to change the status quo.
What do you envision for the future of Blackout nights and how they'll evolve in Boston's theater scene?
For me, I would love personally if people come to Blackouts who maybe don't come to theater that often or for whatever reason don't feel comfortable in that space. And that's the entry to knowing that you can come any night of the run and have an experience and be welcome and respected and loved. I hope this eventually changes the dynamics of every theater night.
I love that. Yeah, the theater brings me such joy. And, it's definitely been a journey to get to a place where I will take up space on any night. And I would love to see that vision play out for everyone in our community, for sure. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. But when we get back, I actually want to get to know you a little better, Maurice, and test your wits with some Black Boston theater trivia.
All right now.
We'll be right back.
Support for this podcast comes from BU's Questrom School of Business, hosting a live taping of their Is Business Broken podcast. The episode, TikTok and the Future of Digital Marketing, examines how TikTok is positioning itself to lead in an ever-evolving digital landscape. Tickets are available at wbur.org/Questrom.
I'm Meghna Chakrabarty, host of On Point. At a time when the world is more complex than ever, On Point's daily deep dive conversation takes the time to make the world more intelligible. From the state of democracy to how artificial intelligence is transforming the way we live and work to the wonders of the natural world. One topic each day, one rich and nuanced exploration. That's On Point from WBUR. Be sure to follow us right here in your podcast feed.
And we're back with Maurice Emmanuel Parent. All right, Maurice, are you ready for me to test your wits with some Black Boston theater trivia?
I think I am. We'll see how we do.
Don't be nervous. And I mean, no pressure, but I should say that we pulled all of these questions from a piece that your fellow co-producing artistic director wrote, Don Simmons, about the history of Black theater. So I think you're going to do good. I think you're going to do well.
I don't know. She's a lot smarter than I am, so we'll see.
All right. Boston's first fully professional African-American theater group was established in 1930 and was called the Boston...
Wait a minute. Oh, the Boston Players?
Yay! Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, I got one. Yes. Wow.
By showcasing the talents of African-American actors and playwrights, the Boston Players gained popularity here in Boston and eventually secured production of a play in New York City by Paul Green. All right. What legendary Boston arts leader and educator was among the first cohort to receive a MacArthur Genius Grant in 1981?
Was it Jackie Parker?
Nope. Elma Lewis.
Oh, dear God. Oh, that was bad. That's real bad. Oh, man. Yeah.
Well,
I'm turning my Black theater card. It's all good. We're good.
No, we need you, Maurice. We need you.
Oh,
This
yeah.
just goes to show that sometimes you need a refresher. It's all good. So in 1968, Boston cultural icon and educator Elma Lewis founded the National Center of Afro-American Artists, which became a cultural hub for the regional African-American community, supporting various artistic endeavors, including theater productions. All right. I don't want to stress you out, Maurice. We got one more, and I think this is it. This is for all the marbles. Ready?
Mm-hmm. I apologize, Jackie Parker. I know she's been famous for a long time in this town. I don't know how long. Oh, God, she's going to kill me.
Okay, here we go. The NCAAA, the organization that Elma Lewis founded, brought national talent to what Boston Park as part of their Playhouse in the Park series?
Franklin Park?
Ding, ding, ding. You got it.
Yes.
Over the years, talent such as Odetta, Billy Taylor, Michael Babatunde Alatunji, and Duke Ellington have performed as part of the series. Woo! Okay. We got through that, Maurice. I give you A++ for effort. 100%. Don't anybody come for him. Don't anybody come for him.
I got the participation award.
That's right. And you know what? That matters. That matters. How about some rapid fire questions? How about we switch things up?
Okay.
What was your drama club's drama back in the day?
Ooh, the drama club drama. So there was this English teacher who came to, no one knows her name. But she just was like a little friendlier or whatever, to like some of the guys. And we were just like, oh my God, what is going on, Miss So-and-so? And then sure enough, she just asked people to like stay after to like clean her erasers. And then they would go home and, nothing untoward would happen. But of course, us drama club people with our dramatic minds and our emotions on our sleeves made this whole narrative.
That's what makes you such a good actor.
Yes, that's what makes me such a great actor. In my mind, it was completely true, but there was absolutely nothing happens.
What advice would you give to your younger self, speaking of high school drama clubs?
It is okay to be truly yourself, and the people who love you truly love you. Like you don't think they love you unconditionally. It's not until I got older where I realized, oh my God, they actually do love me unconditionally. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. What makes Boston home for you, Maurice?
Boston is home for me because of the work I get to do. I was embraced as an actor, then embraced as a director, and then, the folks at the Lyric, folks at Central Square Theater, like all these theater companies, Greater Boston Stage, now at the Huntington, have really embraced me, that I have a life as an artist that I never thought would be full, and all related to this crazy passion I developed in elementary school.
All right, Maurice, one more, and I think we're going to make this your trivia redemption round. I hope, I pray. Name the show tune and the person singing it.
I feel this room swaying while the band's playing one of my old favorite songs from way back when. So bridge that gap, fellas, find me.
Okay, Maurice.
And I'm a musical queen. I was like, I got it. Okay.
Maybe it's a show you're directing next year?
That's from Hello Dolly?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is that Pearl Bailey?
That's Pearl Bailey. You got it. The 1967 all-black cast of Hello Dolly, starring Pearl Bailey.
I thank you for your assistance in jogging my memory.
You're welcome. And when are you directing that show so people know?
I am going to be directing Hello Dolly at the Lyric Stage Company of Boston. It runs from May 16th to June 22nd.
Well, we look forward to that, Maurice, and thank you for having so much fun with us on this. Like I said, don't shame Maurice, okay? We need him in Boston, so we're not running him out of town. Thank you so much, Maurice.
Thanks for having me. I don't know. I think Jackie Parker might run me out of town.
Jackie, I will find you.
Yeah, I love her. I was like, I know she's been famous forever now. Was 82?
That was Maurice Emmanuel Parent. And that's our show for today. Thank you so much for listening to The Common. If you like what you're hearing, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts, especially Apple or Spotify. Rate and review us. Let us know how you're liking the show. We would love to hear from you. And if you want to get in touch with us, hit us up on Instagram at WBUR The Common. You can also send us an email at thecommon@wbur.org. And now, it is that time for me to let you know that The Common is produced by Franny Monahan with help this week from Dean Russell. It's mixed by Paul Vaitkis and Emily Jankowski, and it's edited by Sumita Joshi and Ben Brock Johnson. And our theme music is Me from Hisu. And from the newsroom of WBUR, I'm your host, Candace Springer, in for Daryl C. Murphy. We'll talk to you next week.